A 112 years ago, the UP Board of Regents had a vision to develop their true firstborn college that will spearhead national development through agriculture. At the foot of Mount Makiling, Edwin B. Copeland, together with 7 faculty and 12 students, embarked on the journey to create the UP College of Agriculture, or UPCA. Through its 112 years of existence, the college has produced over 1,000 technologies and variety of plants and animals, 9 national scientists, over 30 outstanding young scientists, and more than 18,000 graduates contributing to agricultural development. UPCA, now College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, has been continuously contributing to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension function. A mere 10 years after establishment, the college was able to start breeding works with the production of sugarcane varieties with high productivity and resistance to Fiji and mosaic disease. In the 1920s, the importance of agriculture was intensified and UPCA was recognized as neighboring countries began sending their students to Los Baños because of the high quality of education. In the 1930s, breeds with superior characteristics such as the Burke Halipig, Los Baños Cantonese chicken, and Philippine cattle were developed. The 1960s was a fruitful decade for research. Makapuno, a coconut cultivar often made into a dessert, was pioneered and perfected. Meanwhile, the Dairy Training and Research Institute was the first in the country to freeze buffalo semen, paving the way for artificial insemination of local carabaos. Along with the establishment of UPLB in the 70s, the college received the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for International Understanding, Asia's counterpart for the Nobel Peace Prize. In the same decade, the kits were developed. The soil test kits were produced in support of the Masagana 99 program, and the mango induction technique was introduced. Continuing the production of quality research outputs in the 1980s, techniques to minimize post-harvest losses, the accelerated fish sauce manufacturing process, and the rapid test kit for the detection of pesticide residue on vegetables were developed. The 1990s saw many new varieties across species or crop types, including Sinta Papaya, the first Philippine-bred hybrid, UPLB Gold, a durian variety, and Doña Amelita, a musaenda named after the wife of former President Fidel Ramos. The award-winning National Corn-Based Farmer Scientist RDE Training Program, or FSTP, was also established around this time and still remains as one of the university's primary extension programs. In the field of instruction, the book titled Integrating Sustainable Agriculture in the BSA Curriculum, the UPLB College of Agriculture Experience, was published in 1999. At present, the College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, continues to be the premier institution of higher learning in agriculture and food science, and remains committed to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension programs. In order to produce the best graduates, all of our courses are outcomes-based education, and continuous improvement of the curriculum is being practiced to meet the challenges of the 21st century. As testament of excellence, CAFS is constantly recognized by different organizations. In research, we continue to implement relevant studies with focus on the 12 priority commodities to address food security. Moreover, technologies are constantly developed to aid in responsible food production. Supplementing these are extension activities to disseminate the knowledge generated to improve food productivity and livelihood of the people. We believe that present technologies will future-proof our food systems. Some of our notable developments are iDetect, Coraginam, Plant Health and Pest Clinic, Pest Management Tools and Techniques, Smarter Pest Identification Technology or SPITech, Snap Hydroponics, Drone Technology, Rapid Immunofilter Assay for Virus Indexing, Nanofertilizers Fertigrow, Hormogrow, Nanobiosensors, and Biochar. We at the College of Agriculture and Food Science will continue to promote and nurture a culture with innovative yet conscientious minds and cutting-edge skills to lead and serve the country and the region. We are one college with one goal towards sustainable food systems. A 112 years ago, the UP Board of Regents had a vision to develop their true firstborn college that will spearhead national development through agriculture. At the foot of Mount Makiling, Edwin B. Copeland, together with 7 faculty and 12 students, embarked on the journey to create the UP College of Agriculture, or UPCA. Through its 112 years of existence, the college has produced over 1,000 technologies and variety of plants and animals, 9 national scientists, over 30 outstanding young scientists, and more than 18,000 graduates contributing to agricultural development. UPCA, now College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, has been continuously contributing to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension function. A mere 10 years after establishment, the college was able to start breeding works with the production of sugarcane varieties with high productivity and resistance to Fiji and mosaic disease. In the 1920s, the importance of agriculture was intensified and UPCA was recognized as neighboring countries began sending their students to Los Baños because of the high quality of education. In the 1930s, breeds with superior characteristics such as the Burkhala pig, Los Baños Cantonese chicken, and Philippine cattle were developed. The 1960s was a fruitful decade for research. Makapuno, a coconut cultivar often made into a pioneered and perfected. Meanwhile, the Dairy Training and Research Institute was the first in the country to freeze buffalo semen, paving the way for artificial insemination of local carabaos. Along with the establishment of UPLB in the 70s, the college received the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for International Understanding, Asia's counterpart for the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay? The C4 plants were developed. The soil test kits were produced in support of the Masagana 99 program, and the mango induction technique was introduced. Continuing the production of quality research outputs in the 1980s, techniques to minimize post-harvest losses, the accelerated fish sauce manufacturing process, and the rapid test kit for the detection of pesticide residue on vegetables were developed. The 1990s saw many new varieties across species or crop types, including Sinta Papaya, the first Philippine-bred hybrid, UPLB Gold, a durian variety, and Doña Amelita, a musaenda named after the wife of former President Fidel Ramos. The award-winning National Corn-Based Farmer Scientist RDE Training Program, or FSTP, was also established around this time and still remains as one of the university's primary extension programs. In the field of instruction, the book titled Integrating Sustainable Agriculture in the BSA Curriculum, the UPLB College of Agriculture Experience, was published in 1999. At present, the College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, continues to be the premier institution of higher learning in agriculture and food science and remains committed to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension programs. In order to produce the best graduates, all of our courses are outcomes-based education, and continuous improvement of the curriculum is being practiced to meet the challenges of the 21st century. As testament of excellence, CAFS is constantly recognized by different organizations. In research, we continue to implement relevant studies with focus on the 12 priority commodities to address food security. Moreover, technologies are constantly developed to aid in responsible food production. Supplementing these are extension activities to disseminate the knowledge generated to improve food productivity and livelihood of the people. We believe that present technologies will future-proof our food systems. Some of our notable developments are iDetect, Coraginam, Plant Health and Pest Clinic, Pest Management Tools and Techniques, Smarter Pest Identification Technology or SpeedTech, Snap Hydroponics, Drone Technology, Rapid Immunofilter Assay for Virus Indexing, Nanofertilizers Fertigrow, Hormogrow, Nanobiosensors, and Biochar. We at the College of Agriculture and Food Science will continue to promote and nurture a culture with innovative yet conscientious minds and cutting-edge skills to lead and serve the country and the region. We are one college with one goal towards sustainable food systems.
So, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the AgriP Stock version 5.0, Rebooting Agriculture in the New Normal. Today, we are in the 5th episode of the AgriCOOLture Youth Champion Series. This series features the youth in agriculture that we consider as champions because of their inspiring stories and amazing initiatives. Today, you will get to know another two champs that make the cool in agriculture. We are currently live on YouTube and Facebook where you can conveniently tune in. So this webinar series is brought to you by the College of Agriculture and Food Sciences, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Again, welcome everybody and thanks for joining us in today's webinar. So let me introduce myself. I am PJ Erehuso, an entomologist and instructor from the Institute of Weed Science, Entomology, and Plant Pathology, or IWEP, here at CAPS UPLB, and I am your host for today's episode. So just a quick reminder for everyone with us today, all your microphones are muted by default to avoid any unwarranted noise in the background. And for our open forum later on, kindly throw in your questions using the Q&A tab if you're here with us by Zoom. While if you are in by YouTube or Facebook, use the comment section to relay your questions. You may also greet everyone through the chat box and let us know where you are watching from. For our student viewers, you can make a shout out up of your school. With regards to the certificate of attendance, you will receive the certification by answering the evaluation form. The link for the evaluation form will be provided to you by the end of the episode. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end. In this fifth episode, we will feature two youth champions as speakers, and you will hear about the following topics. The first speaker, all the way from Cambodia, will talk about the topic drone technology for sustainable and resilient food systems. And for our second speaker, a fellow Filipino, our kabayan, will tell us about the topic, the millennial farmer journey. So as you can see, we have a lot in store for us today. And I know you are all excited to meet our speakers. So without further ado, let us formally begin today's episode with the opening remarks from the director of our institute, Dr. Cheryl A. Yap. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Sir PJ. Thank you so much for being the host for today's webinar. So to everyone, good morning. Welcome to the fifth episode of AgriP's webinar series in AgriCOOLture Youth Champions. Global population is estimated to reach about 9 billion by 2050. The number of young people aged 15 to 24 is also expected to increase, and most will be born in developing countries like in Asia, such as Philippines and Cambodia. So living in developing countries where agriculture is likely to provide the main source of income, it is vital that young people should be interested or connected with agriculture or farming. But agriculture has become a growing concern worldwide because young people have become disappointed with agriculture. To our youth, please note of this, that most of the world's food is produced by aging farmers, especially in developing countries. Older farmers are less likely to adapt the new technologies needed to sustainably increase agricultural productivity and ultimately feed the growing world population while protecting the environment. Hence, we need you to engage the youth in agriculture. So in this webinar, we would like to welcome and give our appreciation to our two youth agriculture champions who will share their inspiring stories, how at a young age they were able to become a successful farmer, agripreneur, and involving themselves in the development in agriculture. To all our viewers and listeners, don't hesitate to ask questions to our youth champions. They are here to motivate and encourage and inspire all of the youth to venture in agriculture. To all the youth out there, we at CAPS ay kapsama nyo in the development of agriculture in the country and in the world. Have a youthful and AgriCOOLture day, everyone.
So thank you very much, Ma'am Yap, for officially kick-starting this episode. So before I introduce our first speaker for today, I'd like to invite all our participants to use our official hashtag for this series. Hashtag Future of Agriculture. All caps for the word cool, COOL. You may take your best selfie while tuning in for today's webinar and upload it on Facebook with the hashtag future of agriculture. If you don't feel like posting your selfie, maybe because you are shy, then we encourage you to post a status on social media instead, based on your takeaways from today's episode. And don't forget to use our hashtag future of agriculture. So now that everything is settled, allow me to introduce our first youth champion for today. So he's a graduate of BS Agriculture, specializing in agronomy from the Maharishi Beti University in India, and continued his education, finishing a Master of Business Administration. He also participated in the program Master of Development Study, major in Community Development at Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. At present, he's running a local green shop and a company named Drone Mer Technology Company, focusing on agricultural products and services. He was the founder of the said company based in Cambodia. In the earlier years of his career, he served as the program manager of the We World Cambodia. He has more than 15 years of experience related to the community development and agricultural works. Wow, amazing. This shows that we truly have such an amazing and experienced speaker for the first part of our episode. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Sokli Leng. Good morning, sir. So, sir, good morning. Here with us, sir. Morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, it's my turn, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really happy to be a part of this webinar, and I'm sorry if my presentation have unclear or anything that below your expectation, but I will try my best to share you about my experience, especially related to the drone company that my technology that I am and my team implement in Cambodia. I want to share my slide here. I start with my slide. You hear me? You all hear me clear, right?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, very good. I have very short slide, but I prefer to share through my speaking, maybe longer than my slide. And you can raise any question if you prefer to clarify with me. Yeah. So this is our logo of Drone Technology. It is the company that we created in 2019. You see my screen, right? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So who we are? We are a team of friends who love agriculture. We start the drone technology informally at the first time. We start to buy a drone from abroad to provide the spray service to the farmer, and then 1 year later we start to we decide to register as a company with the tech under the Ministry of Cambodia, Commercial Ministry of Cambodia. and with the tag K009, as you can see here. Yes, and then we were formed up by a group of friends that experience in agriculture practice. Yeah, we started the drone project formally in 1999, and then we decided to register as a company in early 2020 to get the license in May 2020. Our vision is a leading company in agri-tech and to address to problem solving in agricultural sector. This is our vision, and our mission is to work with the farmer, with the donor, with the stakeholder, and other private sector to promote drone technology to tackle challenge in agricultural sector, to minimize environment pollution due to overuse fertilization and pesticide application, to reduce fertilization cost and pesticide cost through using drone technology. Yeah, and our background, drone, we call drone flight technology is DKT, has attempt to introduce drone to agriculture sector in responding to spray service shortage in dry corn and other horticulture such as longan, mango tree, cassava, cashew nut tree. Yeah. Drone have identified as one of the way we can help to save cost fertilization, reduce pesticide application, and minimize hazardous to human health due to direct contact during spray fertilizer or pesticide, as well as the difficulty in spraying. So here I want to explain you about my real practice on like for example, like mango tree. There is a farm that they have 25 hectares, and we spray by drone. We take one day, while the farmer they spray by tractor or other like what we call in English, I forgot. But let's say a tractor, they spend 5 to 10 days, but with drone we spend only one day. So this is that we say we identify that drone can be work very well on the spray service. Yes.
Excuse me, sir. May I request you to click the slideshow presentation so we can have the full screen of your presentation? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, here.
Thank you, sir. And sir, can you slightly adjust your microphone so we can hear your audio much better? Thank you very much.
So I want to talk more here about the how drone can why drone is the fittest technique in spray service and to save costs on fertilization and to reduce pesticide application and minimize hazardous to human health. So I want to clarify here through my real experience on the field. Like I talked earlier that on the mango tree farm, there is a 25-hectare mango tree farm that the farmer used to spend time, spend 5 to 10 days in spraying by tractor with 4 people. And then when they move to use spray by drone, they use only 2 people and spend only 1 day. And through my interview with the owner of the farm, they also can reuse the fertilizer on their farm. For example, they use the farm the fertilizer, let's say 1,000 for the cost. But when they use the drone, they minimize half. So they spend only $500. I mean, I say in dollar. So this the drone can help the farmer to save the cost. Yes, and the sprayer only stand on one place, and then the drone can spray automatically on the farm. So the man who spray does not touch the fertilizer or pesticide anymore. They reduce a lot. Yeah, and the drone also have the farmer I mean control on pests on time. Like the farmer told me that if insect at night time, they identify insect at night time. In the morning, they can fly the drone to spray immediately. They don't wait like they use the tractor. Yes, this is the experience that we have on the mango tree on using drone. Yeah, you see this picture that our staff spray on the cashew nut. Also, we have a lot to tackle the difficulty on spraying pesticide and fertilizer on cashew nut tree. Yeah, you can see the flower here. Maybe some of you can recognize it is a cashew nut. Yeah, recently DKT is provide both its spray service to and operation team and sell drone to its potential customer with the following activity. First, we boot the selling drone in attempt to help more and more farmers to access drone spray service widely through building partnership with micro finance institute to enable farmer and spray service provider to access to the drone loan. Here, from year to year, for example, last year only a few teams, we identify only few teams in Cambodia that use drone to spray service. Mean the people who have drone, they provide service to make the money from the farmer, and DKT Our company also have to boost selling drone in attempt more and more farmers access to space drone space service. From what được các bạn this year we sell more and more drone, and let say we sell according to my number. Yeah, we sell a lot this year. Around in the first semester we sell about 50 drones, which is I say a lot because last year we sell only 1 or 2 drones in the same period. So this year we sell more than 50 drones. I forgot the number that I sold, but I have in my notebook. Yes, so more and more farmers know the drone, and farmers are starting to believe in drone. It is different from my starting point that I travel a lot, just 1-2 hectares to provide service to farmer in very remote area. But now there are many drone service available nearby the area of the farmer. Yeah. Yeah. Recently, we also promote drone technology through social media and introduce drone techniques to farmer and farm owner and other potential dealer in Cambodia. Yeah, we start to move bigger and bigger now to make to build an environment that the farmer can have the drone in the area. And also we also have create a demonstration spray service in any area that the farmer they not trust yet on the drone service. So we form a spray service in the area to demo for the farmer. So then farmers start to use the drone service. And also we build a network with the existing stakeholder like seed and fertilizer company. Yeah, which is a part of our business activity. Yeah, like in this picture, we go and do the demonstration to Longan farmer 2-3. Yeah, in the area near the Thai border. Yeah, we have a lot of the Longan farm. So we go there and do the demonstration. Now 2 farmers start to use the drone service after we do the demonstration. Before this kind of fruit tree, the farmer they don't believe because the drone use very little water compared to the old method, like they use the tractor. They use even 1,000 liters per hectare. But when we come to use drone, we use only 20 liters per hectare. So it's completely different in terms of volume of water spray on the fruit tree. So farmer, they at the first they don't believe. So we go and do the demonstration and we explain them how it works. So now a few farmer they start to use the drone spraying on the long land. So our next plan, we build the partnership with the micro finance institute to enable farmer and the new space service provider to access the drone loan. Here I talked on it earlier, but still not enough for the farmer to access to the drone loan, because drone now it's a bit expensive, that some farmer they not able to buy, so they need loan to buy the drone. So our company, we build a partnership with two micro finance institute. We call drone loan, that there are several farmer access to the drone loan already. And also we organize, like I said earlier, that we organize training on drone technology to target farmer. Like this month, we start with 3 teams with the new area that the farmer, they still suspect whether the drone work well on their farm or not. So we set up the team to demonstrate and to provide the service in the area. And so also we promote the drone technology through social media and electronic news as well. That's all activity we are doing, but we keep expand day to day to ensure the more and more farmers they know about the technology. Yeah, our best practice here, we learned that we work with the agriculture cooperative. Mean maybe in Cambodia we call agriculture cooperative. It is like a group of farmer that they form as a group. They have a common rule. They have similar activity like this long land. All these people, they are the AC member, and we work through the group and to demo the service for the farmer. Yeah. Here we keep our activity the same, and we also organize the training that we are doing every day. And also we keep promote the drone technology. Yeah, this is about drone Khmer technology. I think it's very short, and if you have a question, and feel free to ask me.
So
thank you for your attention.
So thank you very much, Mr. Sok Lileng, for providing us with new paradigm in the field of agriculture. A big appreciation for showing us novel innovation that aids in sustainable food system. So once again, I'd like to invite you guys to post your best selfie or a status of your key learnings for the day on Facebook. And of course, don't forget to use our official hashtag of the series, #FutureOfAgriCOOLture. As of now, across platforms, we have over 1,000, hundreds of participants. So if you have questions to our speaker, you may use the Q&A tab here in Zoom, or comment your questions in Facebook or YouTube. We have Ma'am Claire Tabernilla and Ma'am Eileen, Aram, to make sure to relay your questions to our moderator. Now, let us proceed to our exciting segment, our open forum. I'd like to call on our cool moderator, Assistant Professor John Bethany Macasero, a plant pathologist in our institute, to facilitate. Good morning, Sir Bethany.
Yes, good morning, Sir PJ. Thank you. Thank you also, Sir Shockley, for a very good presentation about the use of drone technology. So we have one question here. What motivated you in venturing to drone technology business?
Like I have in my presentation slide in up here. Yeah, we are the. I am a farmer. Yeah, let's say I come from a farmer family. That more or less we are love the agriculture. Yeah, and then I have experience to work with the farmer in my career, especially with the NGO that I work more than 10 years. That I see even some farmer they very hard and very weak after come back from the field to spray uh, 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 on their crop. They spray the pesticide or fertilizer. It's so big, and I realize that we should have something to help those poor men. So later on, a friend of mine they search on YouTube and they see the drone, and we are interested. And then we start to share the money to buy a drone. And at the first time, it's very hard. That people they don't believe, because like I in my presentation that the they used to work. They used to use a lot of water, like per hectare. If they spray on the right field, they spray. They use 250 liter water. But when we come to use drone, we use only 16 liters. So very, very different per hectare. So they don't believe. So my team just got a call from someone who interests around Cambodia, and we try to travel. Even sometimes we travel 400 kilometers. You know, the road in Cambodia is not yet underdeveloped. So we are very struggle to provide the service, but we don't fit up. So the story that we come to the drones, that we love the agriculture, and we want to have the farmer to tackle their difficulty.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah, so there's another question here. So drone technology is fairly a new technology for agriculture, so which the youth I think will really love. But how did you reach out to the older farmers who are very reliant on the traditional way of doing things?
Current situation, many farmer they lack of the laborers. They difficult to find the man for spray. I mean the people start very struggle to find a man to spray fertilizer or pesticide on their farmland. So some they believe they want to try the drone. So by this, when a man who try, and in their land, other farmer they see, and they learn from the man who using the drone, and then they call my team to provide the service to them as well. So this dynamic start on the media, on social media, like many time I lie on Facebook, so many people they start to know the drone. And also I have a demonstration farm. I mean the people who interest in technology, and they try to use the drone in the crop cycle. I mean from start to the end. Like right field, there is a group of farmers that they invite my team to provide the drone service from the seeding until harvest. So this story I keep record, and I bring to the media to share on media, and many farmers start know the drone now.
Yeah. So that's very good to hear. So there also one question here. So is drone uh, technology applicable for all fertilizers and pesticides?
Of course, it's applicable for, but in liquid, not in the green. Uh, we can spray all kind of I mean all the what we can say in liquid. In liquid we can do.
Okay. So what for someone who wants to venture to drone technology, how much do you think they should invest?
Sorry.
For this, for, how much starting capital do you think one should invest if they want to start in drone business?
For a company or
For a company, sir,
for a
yes.
company, I register very little capital. But at the first time we about 20,000.
Mm,
Yeah, 20,000.
okay, so it's very fairly small. Okay,
Well,
and
not so big.
yeah, so there is a question here. So, what is the advantages of using drone technology against manual technology? For example, for spraying, what do you think are the different advantages?
The advantage is the first uh, uh, drone uh, make make people very I mean what we can say to save the time, like I in my presentation they spend 5 to 10 days, but with drone we use only 1 day with 2 people, so we save the time, save the cost of fertilizer or pesticide, uh, 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 from very difficulty to very easy. I don't know what one word to be say. My English is limited. So, for example, Lotus, you know Lotus farm, Lotus farm.
Mm, yes.
People are very struggle in spraying. They go through muddy, through water, and then when with drone, they stand on the on the uh, one place and fly to spray. So from the difficulty to very easy, and we can control the I mean when there is insect come immediately, we can fly drone away, so we can control the insect. And it also save the cost of fertilizer. I have interviewed like the mango tree that I present in my presentation, and also the lotus farm uh, with the same volume of fertilizer. If they spray by manually, they use on only one time, but when they come to use with the drone, they can use even 3 times with the same the same volume of the fertilizer.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
they can sell. This information is I got from the farmer who used the drone. So there are many more. Mm, I forgot the, yeah, come on.
It's okay, sir. So, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All this the advantage of drone.
Okay. So there's one question here from our Zoom participants. They were asking, are there any effects in the yield if drone technology is used? So are there any experiences with you or the farmers that you have been servicing if they have an increase in yield if they use drone technology?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the point that I forgot to tell you. It also increased the yield according to the farmer I have interviewed, because mango, they said the yield is the the fruit of mango is much better. Yeah, and the yield also increased. Uh, they told she told me that the owners told me that the yield even increased half.
Hmm.
Yeah, the, I mean the farmer, the mango farmer told me.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't believe yet. Just the first year that they use the drone on their farm. So this year I will go to interview them again about the yield. And for the rice field, of course, they said the yield is good. Many of farmer they report that the yield is much better than they use the manual spray.
Uh, that's very good to hear. So that I think that will give some of our viewers a more reason to think on using drone technology.
Yeah.
And there's also one question here. So um, you say that you told us during your presentation that you're also selling drone to the farmers. Yes, sir. So in the Philippines, actually, there are the farmers are only small scale farmers, so they only have around less than a hectare field. So what do you think is best for those farmers, those low income farmers?
Yeah, yeah. For from my point of view, I think if the farmer they have a small land, they can use also drone, but with the small size. Drone have
Mm.
different size, or they can form as the group. They can form in a group, and then they can use the drone in their group. So
It's
this
just like
I try to introduce to the AC agriculture cooperative that I present in my slide.
yeah, the cooperatives is it's a good suggestion. Also, there is a question on the weather conditions. So, are there any uh, weather conditions that are needed in using drone technology?
Yes, of course. If it's too windy, we don't use the drone because the quality of spray may be reduced, and sometimes the type of the fertilizer when we use in the hot condition is not good,
Hmm.
and also the condition of crop, like when the 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 plant they have the flower, and some farmer told me that they don't use the drone because it too windy from the drone.
Okay, sir.
For,
So,
I think for one another point is advantage, like I don't know it related to the question or not, but let's say the farm again about the mango tree or the cashew nut tree. After the rain in their farm, they cannot move. I mean, cannot move the tractor to spray. But
Mm.
for the drone, we can move. We after the rain, we can move straight away to spray on the fruit tree. So this also the advantage of the drone on the spray.
Oh, yes, sir. So I think this is also a related question for that one. How high do you fly the drones when you are using it for spraying fertilizers and pesticides?
Sorry again.
How high was the drone or the height of the drone when spraying the recommended height for
Uh,
spraying the insect for spraying using drones?
the height of the drone over the crop, we normally we suggest the pilot of the drone fly 1.5 meter to meter to 3 meter over the crop, all type of crop.
Oh, so yeah, 1.5 to 3. Okay, sir. So I think our viewer will note that. You already mentioned that one challenge that you encountered when you started your business was the acceptance. So, are there any other challenges that you met during your business, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Yes, of course. Being a uh, startup company, we struggle in many aspects. Like we lack of capital, lack of human resource. Uh, yeah, we I mean we need uh, a clear uh, uh, what we can say vision how we move our business. So this we need to consult. We need to formalize our business to make sure we will operate in the sustainable way. So financial, human resource, also the main barrier for our startup.
Okay, sir. So, I think this is the last question, sir. So, what are your advice for those who wants to venture into innovations like your drone technology in improving agriculture?
Um, for my point of view, I think now the technology is play important role in agriculture sector. We, I think we can for those who interested in the drone, we can learn from other country, neighboring country like Thailand, Vietnam. We can learn in our region. So we can got the data that they show they I mean uh, they practice. For example, in Thailand, I also learned from Thailand that through drone technology, people can use the pesticide up to 80%. Oh, sorry, 30%, 30% for on the pesticide. So this information are very important for uh, for those who interest in drone. So there are many information available now.
Thank you, Sir Sockley, for a very meaningful discussion and also for answering all our questions. So, Sir PJ, so we're finished and take it away.
So thank you so much, Sir Beth and Mr. Leng, for that very interactive open forum. We indeed learned a lot about our speaker during this session, his field of expertise, and I truly hope our participants now feel the greater push to also venture in agriculture. So now let us proceed with our next segment. To further ignite our motivation, let us move on to our second featured youth champion for this morning. Let me introduce him. So he's currently a farmer and an agripreneur or agricultural entrepreneur in the Millennial Farmer Agri-Trading, and also the farm development and marketing head of the JAB Family Farm School, all based in Albay, Bicol. Not only he is proactive in agriculture, but also he's a talented artist. At present, he serves as the lead graphic artist or creative consultant other than being the general admin department head at the Banco Santiago del Lipon in the Bicol region. Moreover, he held several photo exhibits abroad in Thailand and in Singapore and conducted several community-based projects here in our country. He was given the Prudential Young Contemporary Artist Award in 2014. Wow, let us hear how he is able to balance an agripreneur and an artist at the same time. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this talk entitled The Millennial Farmer Journey, a very cool and well-rounded youth champion, please welcome Mr. James John Dicoco. Good morning, Sir James.
Good morning, everyone. Just want to test kung okay po yung aking mic.
So, yes, you're good, sir.
Okay, can I start my video also?
Go ahead. Thank you.
The host. Okay. I think I can start my video because the host stopped it. Nakalagay po.
Okay. Let me fix it.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. I'll be presenting the Millennial Farmer Journey. It's a short presentation about how I started my agricultural journey from being an artist and to as well as coming back home to the Bicol region. So let me share my screen. Share screen. So our story as the millennial farmer, actually it began as a hobby. I started farming back in 2016 when I graduated from Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts in Singapore and went back here to the Philippines. So my family's legacy is actually rice farming. Most of the males in my family manage the land, as well as now my two sisters are also into farming. So the Millennial Farmer Facebook page or my blog actually started just as a hobby for me to have an outlet on what I wanted to write or share about when it comes to farming. So it's all about my experiences and reflections on being a novice farmer, learning from more seasoned farmers like my dad, as well as the ones farming the neighboring plots around my rice field. So the page's founding resulted from the desire to inspire more from the younger generation, as well as mine, to take up farming. In the second half of 2019, I slowly transitioned it into a business when I took over the family's farm, the JAD Family Farm School, or JAD FFS. From then on, it served as the marketing, product, and farm development arm of JAD FFS. So just a short background of the JAD Family Farm School, it's actually the province's first test-accredited farm school. So before the pandemic started, we trained TESTA courses on growing organic food like vegetables, livestock, and also in producing organic concoctions. So, but when 2019 hit, we were forced to slow down our operations to lessen our excess workforce and refocus our model and remodel our business concept. So another challenge for JAD FFS is because of several typhoons, our only access road to the farm was ruined by a landslide. So we decided to semi-close it muna. So our products for JAD-FFS and the Millennial Farmer are naturally grown crops, seedlings, rice, vegetables, fruit crops, and fruits. We also produce planting media like premium soil mix, basic soil mix, carbonated rice hull, and we produce organic concoctions like fermented fruit juice, fermented plant juice, emas, and calfos. For meat, we have grass-fed beef, organic pork, and giant squid, or as we call it here, tamisan. But the giant squid is seasonal only. So when I transitioned the Millennial Farmer as a business, I also joined DTI's Kapatid Mentor Me program. So I had to develop a proper business model for it. So it doesn't stay just as a hobby. It actually has a system for it to be sustainable and scalable. So I'm just sharing the basics of the business model here. So the key activities for my rice farm is planning, management supervision, troubleshooting for pests and illnesses, pre and post disaster management, harvest and post harvest. For the Jad Family Farm School, it's product development, crop and livestock management, and farm development. For our goods trading, we have product testing, procurement, sales, and deliveries. So key resources would be um, our agri production and livestock farms, training facilities, farm personnel, farm equipment, delivery vehicles, and on-call personnel. Our channels are community following, Facebook page, Instagram page, returning customer database. And customer segment, F&B, elderly here, families here in Bicol, tantitos and tantitas, local corporate offices, and repeat customers in our district. So cost structure would be labor, consumables, logistics, utilities, operational costs, and raw materials and equipment. So for revenue streams, we have webinars, sales, and farm setup, which is in development, and urban and office farm setup, which is also in development. Sorry. Okay. So the basic rice farming schedule is day one would be seeding. So in Bicol, we call it wagas. So basically, we wagas the seedlings here on top of the nursery beds. And day 1 to 16, while the seedlings develop and grow, we conduct land prep. And day 16 to 21, depending on if it's rainy season or summer season, we transplant it to the rest of the field. And day 21 to 100 or 120, depending on the seed variety, we have crop management, which is spraying of fertilizer, pesticides, herbicides, and other chemicals. So day 100 to 120 is harvest. So it also depends on the variety of the rice seed which you're going to use. The quickest one is 90 days, while the longest can reach up to 150 days from seed sowing. So what do I do? So every morning and afternoon, I would do farm checkups to see how my rice have grown. So right now, I'm just into 10 days from seed sowing into my nursery beds, and in 120 days, I'll be harvesting. Back then, as seen in this picture, we used to use a thresher. So this is um, the early mechanized form of harvesting. Right now, we are using a combined harvester. So when we harvested before, it usually takes us 3 days for my 5-hectare farm. Right now, it just takes us 1 whole day using the combined harvester. And then after the harvest management, after the harvest, sorry, we dry the palay or the rice, and we store it for trading. So we usually wait 2 to 3 months after harvest for a better price for dry palay. So aside from that, I grow herbs in my home. So this is basil because my wife loves to cook, and this is lettuce. And I also produce livestock. So we have carabaos, we have goats, cows, and pigs, and a little bit of chicken and ducks. So why farm? I used to ask this question before because I started my journey back in 2016, but I was just a novice back then. In the Filipino term, it's called saling pusa. So I would just join my dad in his morning rounds in the farm. But when I saw how it worked, I became more interested, and I wanted to really pursue being a farmer. So again, why farm? So through farming, you can grow your own food. It can be on a big land like a rice field, or can even be in just a small vacant lot, like what happened in several villages in the Philippines during the pandemic. They grew their own community garden. Or you can also even grow just in your garage or even in your home through hydroponics. So through that, you can contribute to the country's food security. So not just your communities or not just your homes, but to the country's food security. So by growing crops, by growing plants, you can also work in a cleaner and healthier environment. So aside from that, by researching, by learning, by trying and failing farming, you can accumulate knowledge and experience, which you can impart to the next generation of farmers. So challenges of being a farmer. Um, in my short years of farming, I've encountered drought. I've encountered I think 3 or 4 typhoons and 3 super typhoons just last year. So it usually happens during the Burr months, but right now, because of global warming, it's very erratic. So as you can see here, this is what happens when the rice crops gets flooded nearing the harvest season when there's already grain stocks. So usually when this happens, the price of the palay of the rice goes down up to 30%. So what we sell usually for 19 pesos of good quality dry palay, we can only sell up to 6 or 7 pesos of fresh palay. So aside from that, we are also affected by fluctuating prices of agri products and inputs. So right now, most of the inputs, the seeds, and even the labor, the cost is going up. But the price of palay is either stagnant or going down. So my goal as a millennial farmer is to improve farming and business practice and techniques through continuous research and training. I've actually been experimenting in my home in a small plot of my rice field as to whether the inputs that the technicians would recommend to me actually work. So I don't go into something that I haven't tested yet, and I don't recommend anything that I haven't tested it also. So aside from that, I want to strengthen farming's public image as a profitable and sustainable profession, because farming has an age-old stigma. It's just for poor people, or if you go into farming, you will remain poor. So right now, actually, if you're looking at all the retirees, all the wealthy people, they are actually going into farming. The main thing about being a farmer is when you lack education or you lack guidance when managing your finances, you will remain financially strapped. So you can also tap rural banks right now, where you can apply for a production loan, which comes with a farm plan. So they will also help you manage your finances, so you will earn and pay them back at the same time. So aside from that, I want to improve network with the local businesses here to develop business relationships and be their potential business partners. So here we have several F&B. We have restaurants here which have popped up during the pandemic. A lot of people from the cities have come back to the provinces, so there's a lot of business opportunities here. And aside from that, as a farmer, I learned how to tap government and NGO grants and assistances. So aside from the trainings that I've been part of, like the DTI KMME, which is the Kapatid Mentor Me program, which is a free mentorship program by DTI. There is Anyo, Kaya, and Setup program. So Anyo and Kaya, if I'm not wrong, is from Department of Agriculture, while Setup program is from Department of Science and Technologies, so DOST. So that's the end of my presentation. So I would like just to end with this few words. Don't be afraid or be too proud to ask for help. And when things don't work out, change your approach, never your goal. So please like the Millennial Farmer. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed my talk.
So thank you very much, Sir James, for sharing your inspiring journey in the field of agriculture as a youth. And I'm pretty sure you inspired a lot of our young and future agriculturists and entrepreneurs. So as we consolidate all your queries to our speaker, Sir James, I invite first all of you to share with us through Menti, what are you feeling right now? Or you can also share to us your key takeaways from today's episode of AgriCOOLture Youth Champions. So just go to the menti.com and type in these numbers 1433999. Or you can also scan the QR code and share us your thoughts. Again, the question is, what are you feeling right now? Or your key takeaways from today's episode of AGP's Talk 5.0. So this is also to let our speakers know what you have learned from them and the impact of their talk on you right now. So now let us read some of the responses from our mentee.com. Okay, let me share. Okay. So some of them said success, inspired, oh, encouraged, of course. We should be encouraged by their talk. Proud. So salamat po, Sir James. Oh, okay, direct. Thank you. So another one, motivated. And of course, thank you, Sir Sokle. So any other? Okay, I think that is good enough. So thank you for participating in this mentee interaction. All right, let us now move on to the open forum with Sir James. I'd like to call once again Sir Bethany to serve as our moderator. Sir Bethany, take it away.
Yes, thank you, Sir PJ. So, Sir James, we have a few questions for you here from our participants. So, one, you mentioned that you are having, you're managing a sustainable farm in your area in Bicol.
Yes,
So, how sustainable is it? How is your income? So, because usually,
uh,
if people say it's sustainable, usually it's more of for uh, self-consumption. But how about your farm?
for the sustainable farming, it's more on the Jad Family Farm School side. Currently, as when we're talking about the income, we haven't really gone into any income because we developed it as a foundation. So we spent more right now because back then it was a rebel invested area, so 17 hectares na mountainside. So we had to develop it from nothing. So from the infrastructure, the buildings, the training hall, and the dormitory. So right now it's more into capital infusion and not yet more on the no ROI yet. But then again, we're not really focusing more on the ROI. We are focusing more on the training that we can impart to our students. So that's why we test before with organic vegetable production, livestock production, as well as the organic concoctions production. So it's more about teaching the sustainable method of farming without using any chemical inputs.
So no chemical inputs. Okay, sir. Then there's another question here. So, do you have any recommended size which is manageable for first-time farmer who wants to go full-time into full-time farming?
Um,
What I mean.
into full-time farming. For my advice, I'm actually I don't consider myself yet as a full-time farmer, and I believe that unless you're into decades into farming, you should not go into full-time farming, because farming is very can easily be affected by force of nature, which is out of our control. So right now, I'm working in the family business. I'm also developing other my own businesses as well as farming. So my outlook on farming right now, whatever I earn from farming also goes into farming. Not none of it goes into my own personal expenses. None of it is used for starting other businesses aside from my own added value chains. So if you're going into farming, start slow, start small, and it does. You don't need to rent or purchase a big plot of land. Try to start farming in your own backyard, in your room, or even in your terrace. There are several types of farming which you can utilize, like hydroponic, um, what else? Urban gardening, urban farming, container gardening. So I think that's the common misconception with farming, which is you need to have a big plot of land to be able to farm. I know that I think it was Vietnam who first ventured into hydroponic rice farming, and I think they also ventured into vertical rice farming. So it's a little bit more costly because you have to develop the structure. But if we're talking about the sustainability and the I think sustainability, as well as it can be less affected by typhoons if you can do it indoors. It would be a lot more sustainable for farmers who are just starting out. So if you're lucky enough to have a big amount of money to start your farming, still start small and study first. Don't go into it without anything, without trying or without training. You can. I study in YouTube. I study through the farmers. Study through webinars. So I think the main part of it is you have to educate yourself. You have to actively choose to learn and to make mistakes, so that you, while you're starting small, you make the same mistake and you don't repeat it when you're big. So I think that's it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So there's one question here. So what do you think is the best way to motivate the youth in venturing into farming?
I think the best way of motivating the youth right now is to actually show them that farming is profitable. You don't need to look at farming to sell your crops. You can consider farming to grow your own food. But I think most people don't realize that if you grow your own food, you save more money because you don't buy from other people, or other you don't need to buy from the market. You don't need to spend fuel or transportation cost to go to the market. So I think it's more about educating the youth on the financial aspect of agriculture or of farming.
Thank you, sir. So I think this is related to your earlier, what you mentioned earlier. So uh, you mentioned that we can do farming, we should not venture into full-time farming immediately. So
Mhm.
what are your suggestions for those who want to farm but are in an 8 to 5 work or office work?
Well, if you can hire people, you should hire. Like right now, my family and I share a group of 20 workers for our farms, and we just schedule that our planting is 2 weeks apart, so we don't also clash when it comes to harvest. So like me, I work at 9 to 5, but I also farm at home, or at even I manage the rice farm. So I have a dedicated worker who supervises the whole 5 hectares, um, and I just coordinate with him with the farm plan, what inputs to buy, what tasks are scheduled for the week. So it doesn't have to be you who farms. You just have to manage the farm, or like what I said earlier. You can start small. You can farm at home, and farming isn't a 9 to 5 job. It's a job that you can do anytime you're free, or you can just, like I said, you can just hire someone to help you farm, or you can finance someone to farm for you.
That's a good suggestion, sir. So you mentioned about production loans from rural banks. So I think this is a fairly new one to most of our listeners. So how does this work, sir?
So actually, my family business is a rural bank. Although I work in the admin department, so I handle more of the logistics. But we offer agri production loans, and it's actually the foundation work of our bank. We cater mostly to farmers when my grandfather started it. So agri production loan basically you borrow money from the bank to fund your production. So it's up to you if you want to fund your whole farm or if you want to just fund a small part of it. But that then again, when the bank started offering that loan, we had trouble when it comes to collection. We found out it's because the farmer doesn't know how to manage the money because they don't know how to make a farm plan or a schedule. So then we trained our account officers, our loan officers to help the farmers plan. So if they're going to um, borrow money from us, it comes with a plan. Like we would ask them, what variety are you going to plant? How many hectares? What inputs are you going to use for your crops? And when is your harvest? So through that, we also help them manage their money and make them realize that the money they're borrowing is money for the farm, not for them, but for the farm. And when we also offer production loan, it comes with crop insurance, which is insured by government agency. I think it's PDIC. I'm not so sure. So anytime there's a calamity, maybe a typhoon or an illness, usually it's tongro or a pest related disaster like um, I think 10 years ago we had a problem with rats in the farm. So it's the government agency insures it and would pay the bank back a little bit of your money of the loan so we can reloan again for the next season. So as much as possible, we go out of our way to also help the farmers help themselves.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I think we only are allowed another two questions. So one question is, you also mentioned that there have been challenges and also failures during your venture into farming. So how did you cope with these challenges and these failures?
By learning from it and by researching how to do better and be better. So when during my first season of farming of planting rice, I did the old method of just spreading the direct seeding, which is basically you you sow the seeds like you throw it across the whole plot. So it saves you on labor, but then again it costs more when it comes to oversight because instead of looking at them or waiting for them to grow in a small space like a nursery, you have to supervise the whole plot immediately. So during my first season, I think for 3 hectares, I only earned a net of 10,000 pesos for 6 months. So that was
That's
the
small.
biggest motivation because I didn't earn much. Nalugi ako. So in my second season, I did better. I listened more and I researched more. So it's been a continuous improvement. It's a never ending journey to a better way of planting rice. And no matter how much you study, no matter how much you improve yourself, there will always be a time where things will be out of your control. Like you can stick to the farm schedule, but then again, Mother Nature says, "I don't want to give you rain for 3 months." So I have to compensate by using a water pump for the next 3 months. So that cost me 1,000 per day on gasoline. And then back in 2019 during the rainy season, I was about to harvest in 1 month. In 1 month, then suddenly Mother Nature said, "Oh, I want to give you a typhoon." So um, instead of harvesting the whole of my field, I think I only harvested 30% of it. So it was just barely enough to start again. But then you just have to find motivation in yourself and in helping your workers have a livelihood to find the funds to start again, because you don't want to have that big plot of land to go to waste, and you don't want your workers to not have any income. So I think it's just all about believing that there's a possibility for a good harvest, and that's what gets me through each and every season, no matter a typhoon, no matter a drought. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sir James. So the last one is, do you have any last piece of advice for our youth and also our future farmers?
I think this is this piece of advice which I got from my wife is the biggest advice I stick to for anything that I do. It's to never be afraid to make mistakes, but as much as possible, make that mistake only once in your life. Learn from it immediately so we don't repeat it, especially when you have a big company. Make it as early as when you're just starting out so you don't have that much to lose. So, and never be too proud to ask for help, to research, because no matter who you are, no matter if you're the richest person on earth, there will always be someone who's smarter than you, who's better than you, and who's richer than you in one way or another. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Sir James, for answering the question. Sir PJ, take it away.
So thank you once again to Sir James for that fruitful and grainy, because rice, discussion. And of course to our moderator, Sir Bethany, and our co-moderators, Ma'am Claire and Ma'am Noelie. We had a good flowing forum with both our speakers, but we're sorry for cutting it off already. We are truly fortunate to have our both speakers this morning. And now it's time for us to show our appreciation for gracing us with their presence today and inspiring our youth. So it is my privilege to present this certificate of appreciation. First, to Mr. Soklileng for serving as resource person with this talk entitled Drone Technology for Sustainable and Resilient Food Systems, given this 15th day of June 2021 at College of Agriculture and Food Science, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, signed by Dr. Pompos C. Santa Cruz, Chair of the CAPS Webinar Committee, and Dr. Elpidio Agbisit Jr., Dean of College of Agriculture and Food Sciences. Thank you so much, Mr. Les. Thank you. And next, I'd also like to present this certificate of appreciation to Mr. James John DiCoco for serving as resource person during the Aggie Pitch Talk 5.0 Agriculture Youth Champions with the talk, The Millennial Farmer Journey, under the webinar program, Rebooting Agriculture in the New Normal web pressure courses, given this 15th day of June 2021 at CAPS UPLB, signed by Dr. Santa Cruz and Dean Elpidio Agbisit Jr. Thank you po, Mr. DiCoco. Thank you very much, sir. And of course, we will not miss this opportunity to have our photo souvenir with our youth champions, even though we are doing this remotely. May I request everyone in the panelists and of course, our speakers for today to open your cameras for quick photo op. Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Another one, Waki. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you very much po. Bravo. Okay, an important reminder to our all participants. You may access the evaluation form to have your certificate of attendance. Just go through this link, through the link that will be provided to you now in the chat box below, or comment section, or you can also scan this QR code that you see on your screen right now. So answer the evaluation form given and expect to have your certificate, e-certificate of attendance for joining us today. Do not forget it to claim your actual souvenir for this webisode. Thank you very much. And now, as we come closer to the end of today's webinar, we will call on the Director of National Crop Protection Center, Director Melvin D. Ebuenga, to give us his closing remarks.
On behalf of the CAPS Extension Committee and the National Crop Protection Center, I would like to thank all of you for attending the 5th episode of the Aggie PS Talk 5. I would like to acknowledge our youthful speakers, Mr. James John Dikoko and Mr. Leng Sokli, for sharing their experiences and insights as champions of agriculture and for helping us move forward in our goal of inspiring more people to venture into this field. I would also like to thank Dean Elpidio Agbisit Jr. and the CAPS Extension Committee for making this event possible, as well as the focal persons of the NCPC Webinar Committee for devoting their efforts to facilitate the smooth flow of this webinar. It is my hope that the participants have learned a lot about what has been presented a while ago, and I also hope that all of us were able to find much needed inspiration from our speakers' experiences and were able to discover ideals that we can emulate. While we might not be able to meet personally, I hope that the friendship and the exchange of ideas among us will prevail even after this event. May we all continue to be safe during this pandemic. Thank you and mabuhay.
Thank you, Sir Abenga, for that closing remarks. And for wrapping today's episode of Aggie. And again, for our agricultural youth champions, we truly appreciate sharing your experiences and most of all, inspiring and motivating our youth to become agricultural champions just like you. Thank you, Sir Sokli Leng and Sir James Dikoko. Thank you once again. We wish you the best and we hope that more people will be inspired with your journey in agriculture. So thank you also to the CAPS webinar team, to the iWeb team assisting us behind the scenes, Ma'am Claire, Ma'am Noeline, Sir Bethany, and Ma'am Aisa, and Ma'am Romaline of NCPC, and to all who made this series possible. On behalf of iWeb, NCPC, CAPS UPLB, thank you to all our participants for sharing and spending this wonderful Tuesday morning with us. Thank you very much. So, you can subscribe to CAPS UP Los Baños YouTube channel and view our previous webinar episodes. And you may also visit and like our Facebook page to keep updated with our future activities. So once again, thank you very much. This is your host, PJ Erejuso, and we hope to see you again in the next episode of AgriPeace Talk 5.0. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir James and Sir Sockley.